So let's talk about January 26th, 2026. To most people, it was just another Monday, right? Nothing special. But for Liverpool Football Club, wow, it was like a perfect storm. On this one single day, you've got everything hitting the fan at once. We're talking brutal critiques from a club legend, crazy rumors about the manager, the madness of the transfer window, and a fan base that's just completely on edge. So we're going to break it all down, because this one day tells you everything you need to know about the pressure cooker that is Liverpool right now. And where does it all kick off? Well, it starts with an absolute bombshell from a club legend. Look, this isn't just some random pundit trying to make a headline. We're talking about Jamie Carragher, a guy with over 700 games for the club who basically has Liverpool red running through his veins. When he talks, people listen, from the fans on the cop all the way up to the boardroom. So when he drops a quote like this, yeah, you better believe it puts everyone, especially the manager, on notice. This really sets the scene for just how high the stakes are. All right, a legend sounds the alarm. Jamie Carragher escalates his criticism. So let's get into what's really happening here. You know, these comments from Cara, they didn't just pop up out of thin air. Nope, this has been bubbling under the surface for a while now. A real growing concern after some shaky performances. And when someone like him, who is so deeply part of the club's DNA, speaks out this frankly, it completely changes the game. He's not just nitpicking a bad result anymore. He's going after the big stuff, the whole tactical setup under Arne Slot. Okay, so let's dig into what Carragher is actually saying, because these points are seriously specific and, honestly, pretty brutal. First up, vulnerable to set pieces and long throws. To any fan, that just screams a lack of organization, right? Like basic defensive work isn't getting done. Then, being exposed on counterattacks, that's a huge red flag. It tells you the whole structure is off balance, that the team is just fragile when they lose the ball. Carragher even says this style might, get you by in a one-off European game, but for the relentless grind of the Premier League, no way. It's just not built for it. And here's the kicker, the part that really matters. He ties all of this directly to the manager's job. The message is simple. If you don't get Champions League football, you're out. Period. All right, the managerial rumor mill. Pressure on the present, eyes on the future. And you know how this works, right? It's like clockwork. The second a manager feels this kind of heat, especially from a club icon, the rumor mill just goes into hyperdrive. The media absolutely loves it. And just like that, the conversation flips from what's wrong on the pitch to who's going to come in and fix it. And for a club like Liverpool, that almost always means looking back to a hero from a golden era. And this just lays it all out, doesn't it? In one corner, you've got the current boss, Arne Slot, who's totally under the microscope with everyone questioning his tactics. And in the other corner, well, it's the ghost of glory's past, Xabi Alonso. And listen, he's not just some ex-player. He's a legend, a Champions League winner, the guy who ran the midfield with such class. He is the Liverpool way for a lot of fans. And then, on this exact same day, what happens? Reports start leaking out that he's more than happy to come back. I mean, come on, that's not just a rumor. That's basically throwing down the gauntlet. It creates this perfect, almost movie-like story of the hero just waiting for the call to come and save the day. Okay, so navigating the transfer market, separating rumor from reality in a hectic window. So with all this drama around the manager, you have to wonder, how is the club even functioning? I mean, the January transfer window is pure chaos at the best of times. And right now, Liverpool isn't just trying to manage their players, they're desperately trying to manage the story being told in the media. So let's peel back the curtain and see what's rumor and what's real. And this is a perfect example of that. You can see their two-part strategy right here. On the one hand, they're playing defense against the media. Rumors were flying everywhere that a deal for Adam Morton from Crystal Palace was a sure thing. But no, the club got insiders to shut that down and shut it down fast. Why do that? Well, it stops the fans from panicking, and it tells other clubs you're not desperate. But then, on the other hand, look at what they're actually doing. Quietly confirming a signing for the future and bringing a young forward back from loan. This shows you that behind all the noise, there's still a plan. They're trying to stay calm and stick to their long-term vision. So let's zoom in on this new signing, Ifeanyi Ndwikwe, because this move really says a lot about how Liverpool thinks. This isn't some quick fix, a panic buy to plug a hole in the defense. This is a 17-year-old kid. He's a giant, 6'5", and they're talking about him as this modern ball-playing defender. He's not going anywhere near the first team yet. He's off to the under-21s to develop. And that's the key takeaway, isn't it? Even while the main squad is getting absolutely hammered by critics, the machine behind the scenes, the recruitment team that's found so many superstars, is still humming along, planning for 5 years down the road. But managing a squad is like a giant Jenga puzzle. You pull out one piece, and the whole thing can come crashing down. Take the situation with Andy Robertson. There were talks about a big move to Spurs, but suddenly it's off the table. And why? It's pretty simple, actually. The squad is just stretched too thin defensively. They literally can't afford to lose another experienced player. And it's a great example of how one problem, a lack of depth, causes a domino effect. It messes with your transfer plans and forces you to keep players you might have wanted to sell. It just goes to show you how little wiggle room they have at Anfield at the moment. Next up, business, brands, and fans. Contrasting realities at a global club. Okay, so while all this football drama is going on, the tightrope walking, the transfer headaches, there's this whole other Liverpool FC that exists in a parallel universe. It's a universe where everything is going perfectly. And this is where you see the massive split between the smooth corporate global brand and the messy, passionate day-to-day reality for the fans. I mean, check this out. The irony is just incredible. On the very same day that Jamie Carragher is on TV questioning the team's soul, the business side of the club is putting out press releases about a brand new, first-of-its-kind deal with Tommy Hilfiger. From a business angle, it's a huge win. The brand is looking strong, successful, and global. The money's rolling in. But that slick, polished image is just worlds away from how the fans are feeling. It's a total disconnect.
And here's the proof. This is what the fan base is actually feeling. When you look at the online chatter, the forums, the call-in shows, this is the mood. You've got a massive 35% who are just fed up with the tactics. Then you've got another huge chunk, half the fan base really, split between wanting a total change at the top and just being terrified about how thin the squad is. So think about that. That leaves only this tiny sliver, 15%, who are still saying trust the process. This is not a fan base that's all singing from the same hymn sheet, far from it. It's a fan base that's completely divided, full of anxiety, and just really unsure about where the club is heading.
So that brings us back to where we started. One single day that tells you everything about a club's standing at a massive crossroads. You've got the pressure from a club icon, the whispers of a hero's return, the reality of a tricky transfer window, and a fan base that's just desperate for some stability. So I'll leave you with this question. On a day filled with all this pressure, promises, and punditry, what's the one decision that's going to end up defining Liverpool's entire season? Is it sticking by the manager? Is it a last-minute transfer gamble? Whatever it is, the choice they make next isn't just about this season. It could set the course for the entire club for years to come.